to see about Desktop Central's integration with ServiceDesk Plus. I would like to confirm if my voice is audible and if you're able to view the presentation clearly. So just a quick little favor from you guys. If you're able to listen to my voice clearly and if you're able to view the presentation, then please do send in a confirmation via chat. So once I receive a few confirmations from you, then I will begin with our session for today. So I'll wait for your confirmations. You can send them via chat. So thank you guys. I've received a few confirmations. I think we are good to begin with our session for today. So for those of you who are new to the training, this runs on a 7-week basis. So this is a 7-week series where we are now on week 6 for integration of Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus. In case if you had missed the previous sessions or if you would like to take a look at the previous sessions that had been conducted, do not worry. I have a URL given here using which you can access and find the recordings of the previous session. So we are now on week 6 and we are here to see about integration of Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus. And as I had said, this URL below here will contain the recordings of the previous sessions which you can make use of in case you had missed the previous webinars. And for all the registrants, once the webinar gets over, you will receive an email with the recording of the session as well as a set of questions that will help you to take a look at integration of Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus. Desktop Central integrates with ServiceDesk Plus. So why is it that we have to integrate ServiceDesk Plus with Desktop Central? You can see that Desktop Central is an endpoint management tool and ServiceDesk Plus is a help desk ticketing software. So what happens when you integrate both of these ManageEngine's biggest players in the IT industry? Why integrate an endpoint management software like Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus? What are the benefits out of this integration? What are the advantages that the IT technicians and system administrators can face and experience out of this integration? So all of the activities, all of the advantages that we will receive out of this integration, let us discuss in this webinar. So before I begin with our session, let me introduce myself. I'm Vaishnavi. I work as a product specialist at ManageEngine, and I will be your trainer for today. So what is the agenda for today's session? First, let's see the architecture, how well the architecture is designed to enable that seamless integration is established between Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus. Then we will see the steps that are required to set up the integration. How simple and easy it is for a system administrator or an IT technician to set up the integration between both these products. And then let us involve deeper into this integration. Let us discuss some commonly encountered use cases by administrators in their network. Let's discuss different use cases, 4 different use cases based on a problem solution approach. So first, I have a common issue, troubleshooting an audio issue for a user. So let's see how you can make use of this integration and resolve such common troubleshooting issues. And then we will see how we can install software applications right from your ServiceDesk product without having to navigate to Desktop Central. Then we will see how we can install commercial applications based on an approval mechanism using Desktop Central SelfService Portal feature. We will also see how we can deploy configuration templates and scripts. So both these configuration templates and scripts, if you'd see, they make the job of an administrator easy. They help in automating the routine tasks of an administrator. So we will see how we can deploy templates and scripts right from the help desk tool without having to use a standalone application or use Desktop Central for that matter. We will also see how we can integrate Desktop Central's asset management and maintain an up-to-date inventory in our ServiceDesk Plus server. So once we cover all these use cases that have been designed based on a problem solution approach, we will also talk on some common scenarios that are encountered in the network and their optimal solutions that help in resolving such scenarios. And for the benefit of everybody, let us discuss questions that are raised during this webinar and some questions that are very common when it comes to help desk integration with an desktop management tool. So all through the training, if you have any questions, please do send in your queries via chat. You can send in your questions via the chat window. I have an expert panel right here with me who can answer your questions in real time. As you can see, these are all the OSs that support the integration of Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus. So I have Windows, Mac, and Linux. And this also means that the agents installed on all of these computers and all of these OSs will bring in assert details from these computers to your ServiceDesk Plus server, which means agents installed in a Windows OS running computer, agents installed in a Mac OS running computer, and agents installed in a Linux OS running computer. You can gain the assert details of all these computers right in your ServiceDesk Plus server. So I have the architectural diagram right in front of you. For those of you who've been attending the free training of Desktop Central, I'm pretty sure that you must be aware that Desktop Central works on a client-server model. So we have Desktop Central agents installed on all the computers that have to be managed, and these agents will communicate with your Desktop Central server at regular intervals and pick up the tasks that are corresponding for them periodically. As you can see, since we have integrated ServiceDesk Plus with Desktop Central, both of these are available in your network. Now let's take, for example, an end user in your company raises a request for software installation. Now this request will be available as a ticket in your ServiceDesk Plus server. Now what happens next is that, let's say you are a technician and you open this particular software request in your ServiceDesk Plus server. So you open the request and you see the type of software, what software has the employee requested for installation. So once you know the software, this request will be sent to your Desktop Central server. Now your Desktop Central server will in turn find the computer to which the software has to be installed and initiate software installation using the agent in that computer. So your Desktop Central server will command the agent in the computer to install the software that has been requested for by the employee. So once the agent in the target computer installs the software application, it will send back the status of software installation back to your Desktop Central server. Your Desktop Central server, on receiving the status of installation, whether it has been successful or whether it has failed, once it receives this status, your Desktop Central server will post the status back to your SDP server. Now, once the software has been installed successfully, the ticket will automatically close. The ticket status will automatically be marked as closed. So you can see how efficiently and easily the communication is established between ServiceDesk Plus and Desktop Central. Now I have a list of features that can be integrated between your desktop management tool and your ServiceDesk Plus software. So I have assert data, install and uninstall software applications, configuration templates, advanced remote control, and then logging help desk requests and alerts as tickets. So the first is your assert management. As you know, Desktop Central has its own assert management module, its inventory module, using which you can post all assert details, all your software details, all your hardware details back to your ServiceDesk Plus server. For those of you who are very familiar about ServiceDesk Plus, you might have heard of ServiceDesk Plus Assert Management. So what is that difference? What is distinct between Desktop Central's Assert and ServiceDesk Plus Assert? Just a few differences to be noted of. In the case of ServiceDesk Plus, if you would like to know, as an IT technician, if you would like to know details on the asserts in your network, either you will have to schedule a scan, you will have to schedule an assert scan for you to know the assert details, or you will have to manually scan your machines and gather the assert data. But on the other hand, if you see Desktop Central, if you take the assert management of Desktop Central, every time there is a new software installed, every time there is a new hardware detected, or any change in terms of inventory, there is a scan that is immediately initiated and you will have assert details posted to your Desktop Central server. So that's how quickly Desktop Central's asset management acts when it comes to inventory changes. Second is about installing and uninstalling a software application. In today's IT world, if you see, a lot of applications are being requested by employees, and these employees are large in number. Everybody wants a specific application that they might find useful installed in their computer. So with so many requests for software installation, software application being installed or uninstalled, it is going to be difficult if you have to use a standalone tool, or if you have to navigate every time to Desktop Central to make use of the software deployment feature. So once you integrate your Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus, you can make use of the software installation and uninstallation process all from your help desk tool itself. And the third is about configuration templates. So this feature is newly introduced. Now templates are those components that help simplifying the everyday tasks of an administrator. You have a template created readily. You can deploy these templates whenever a requirement arises for it. Let's take the example of changing the password policy for users. So whenever you have new employees entering your organization, all you have to do is create a template for password policy and deploy it every time there is a new employee joining your organization. So let's see how you can make use of these configuration templates all again from your ServiceDesk Plus tool itself. And then fourth feature is about advanced remote control. Here, once you integrate Desktop Central's remote control with ServiceDesk Plus, you will have the ability to take remote connection of the end user's computer all from your help desk tool, and you can perform various troubleshooting operations as well. And last but not the least, why do we have a help desk tool in place in our organization? You want your end users to be easy. You want to make it easy for your end users to raise requests whenever they face difficulties with respect to their hardware, with respect to their software, or with respect to their environment in the network. So in such cases, by integrating your DC with STP, your end users will be able to raise help desk requests from their Desktop Central Agent tray icon. And despite being there no internet connection, your end users will be able to raise a request if you integrate Desktop Central with SDP. And also, any change in your inventory can be raised as a ticket in your ServiceDesk Plus product, so that your help desk technician could go and inspect on what changes have been made in the network. So these are the different features that you can integrate between Desktop Central and ServiceDesk Plus. So let's see quickly about the steps that should be taken to integrate both of these products. How easy it would be for a technician to integrate Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus. So the first step is to authenticate the communication between both the products, which means you will have to authenticate communication from Desktop Central to ServiceDesk Plus, and in turn authenticate communication from ServiceDesk Plus to Desktop Central. And this is done by generating API keys across both the products and exchanging them over. So once you do that and establish communication, you can then choose the features which you would like to have integrated in your environment. Now let me take you to the console, to the product console, to show you how you can set up this integration. So as you can see, I have logged into Desktop Central console. I have logged in with administrator privileges. Now for you to move on to your ServiceDesk Plus console, all you have to do is click on Jump to SDP right from your DC console. So let me log in with administrator credentials. Now let me move back to Desktop Central console. Under Admin tab, under the Integrations column, you will find API key generation. Let me click on that. So here you can add accounts, and you can select for which account would you like to integrate Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus. If you're going to do it for the first time, if you're going to generate an API key for the first time, then you will have the generate option available here. This being not the first time, I have the regenerate option available. So let me click on regenerate. Once again, before that, let me log in as the second account using which I would like to integrate with Desktop Central. So let me go back again to admin. Now under integrations, under API key generation, let me click on regenerate. As you can see, I have an API key generated. Now make sure you copy this key right from the beginning of the key. Let me copy it, and then don't forget to save this API key. Now let me jump to my STP console. Now in my STP console, as you can see, I have opened the console. Let me click on the admin tab. When you scroll down under the general settings, you will find ME integrations. Now here you can find a list of ManageEngine products which you can integrate with the help desk tool, the ServiceDesk Plus. We are going to integrate Desktop Central. Let me click on Desktop Central. As you can see, I have Desktop Central. I have the server name, the server where my DC is running, which is DC Webinar-Lab. I have the port where my DC server is running. I've given my protocol settings. I've chosen HTTP. And then in the API key text box, all you have to do is place the API key that you had copied from Desktop Central and click on Test Connection and save. So as you can see, I have connected successfully. So one way of my communication from Desktop Central, generating an authentication key and pasting it in ServiceDesk Plus and establishing communication is done. So the other way is now to generate a key in ServiceDesk Plus and paste it in Desktop Central and secure the second way of communication as well. Let me show you how you can do that. A quick way to do is to click on the administrator logo, to click on the user login logo. Here you will find the API key generation. So I have chosen the option to never expire. So let's say I don't want my API key to never expire. Now, if you would like to set an expiration date for your API key, you can go with the second option. Now let me click on regenerate. So I have an API key generated from ServiceDesk Plus. Again, make sure you copy this before you close this particular window. Now that I've copied the API key from ServiceDesk Plus, I should navigate to Desktop Central and under Admin tab, under the ServiceDesk Plus settings, let me scroll down. You will find the API key box where you will have to paste this particular key. So let me paste the key that I had generated from ServiceDesk Plus. Now remember, here you will have to furnish all the details about where your ServiceDesk Plus server is running, which port, and the name of your ServiceDesk Plus server, and also the communication protocol that is chosen. Now let me click on Save. So ServiceDesk Plus server settings have been updated successfully. The server connectivity is reachable, and the key is also marked as valid, which means we have secured communication from ServiceDesk Plus to Desktop Central as well. Now, once you do that, you are good to go with selecting the features that have to be integrated between both these products. So here under features to integrate, you have several features listed down. So you have the assert data of computers, you have assert data of mobile devices, then you have software deployment, which is going to help you install, uninstall software applications. Then you have user-defined configuration templates, which I said is a new feature that has been introduced between the integrations. And then I have remote connections and other options when you're going to integrate remote connections between DC and SDP. And then I have log help desk requests and alerts as tickets. Now you as an IT technician, you will have the feasibility to select which features you would like to have integrated in your environment. So once you select the features, you are good to go with performing other activities with respect to this integration. Now a quick heads up and what we had performed. So the first step was to generate an API key in Desktop Central, exchange it over to your ServiceDesk Plus server. Then you generate an API key in your ServiceDesk Plus server and use it in your Desktop Central. So by this, you have established secure connection between both the products. Now what's next? You select the features that have to be used in your environment. Is it assert? Is it software installation? Or is it remote connection? Or is it logging help desk requests and raising alerts as tickets? So once you choose the features, you are good to go with the other options that you can make use of. So we have seen the introduction on what are the prerequisites that have to be met for this integration to be successful. Now, let's discuss a few use cases to see how well you can make use of this integration how advantageous would it be for your technicians to make use of this integration? So the first use case is about troubleshooting an audio issue for a user. Now there are a few common requests that are received by technicians day in and day out. They will have to resolve such common requests a million number of times if you take them. Let's say for one day, you will have to go through the same kind of request again and again, and you will have to perform it all manually. One example is where a user complains about his audio not working. Another example is where a user complaining that he's forgotten his password. One other example is where the user complains about the IP printer not working. So these are a few common requests that technicians have to face day in and day out. How can we make use of this integration so that the technician can troubleshoot such common mundane requests in an easier way? So for that, I've taken the case of an audio issue where a user complains that his audio is not working. So let me take you to the ServiceDesk Plus console to show you where we have that particular request. And now all through the upcoming slides, I might sometimes refer DC, Desktop Central as DC, and ServiceDesk Plus as SDP. So SDP is nothing but ServiceDesk Plus, and Desktop Central will be sometimes referred to as DC. So here in ServiceDesk Plus console, let me move to the request tab. Let me open that particular request where the user had reported that his audio was not working. So here I have a request that says unable to listen to audio. So I've clicked on that particular request. Now here you can see the description on what the request is about. I have a problem with my computer audio. I can't listen to audio since morning. Please look into this immediately. So this is what the ticket has to say about it. Coming down, you have the request details. So which is the assert that is mapped with the request, who has raised the request, it is John, and when was the date created, how urgent, how prioritized should it be, what is the impact of this request. All the details can be found in your request details section. And coming down, you have the requester details. Now let me show you how you can make use of the remote connection feature of Desktop Central after you integrate it right from your ServiceDesk Plus product. So an audio issue is a very common issue, and for the technician to make it easy to resolve it, all he has to do is just remotely open the end user's computer, see what is wrong with the audio drivers in his computer, and resolve them immediately. He doesn't have to use another tool for taking remote connection. He doesn't have to manually move to the end user's place to check on the audio issue. All that he has to do is just initiate a remote connection right from this request window, and let me show you how. So remotely connect using Desktop Central. Let me click on that option. So it asks me to specify a reason as to why do you want to establish this connection to the remote computer. Let me say that it is for troubleshooting purposes. And once that is done, let me click on connect. So as you can see, it is waiting to establish remote connection, and the remote window of the end user who had raised an issue about his audio not working, I have taken the remote window of that end user's computer. So here, if you see, you have a lot of options that you can make use of. So in the left-hand side navigation pane, you have different options, like you can choose to blacken a monitor. Let's say you are a technician who are performing authenticated transactions during the process of troubleshooting, and you do not want the end user to view what is happening as during the troubleshooting process. You can always choose to blacken the end user's monitor. Now let's say you are in the middle of a troubleshooting process that is very critical. You don't want your end user to meddle with his input. You can always choose to disable his input devices. You can go with a view-only mode. You can take screenshots if required during your troubleshooting. So come down here, you can find the quick launch operation. You can open the command prompt of the end user's window. You can open his control panel, his device manager, all the important settings right from your quick launch. You also have power options if you would like to reboot, log off, or shut down the end user's computer after performing a troubleshooting operation. So here, I have a file transfer option available. Let's say the end user does not have a few files that are required for resolving an issue. You can always go ahead with this file transfer and transfer the files to the end user's computer. The first and the foremost thing a technician would do while taking remote connection is to notify a user that you have taken a remote office window. So you can make use of the text chat option that is available. You can notify the user that you have taken remote connection of the end user's computer. And for better troubleshooting, you can always use the voice and video call which have been introduced lately. You also have hotkeys that are available. Now, for this particular request where the end user has reported that his audio is not working, you can open the device manager of the end user's computer and see if there are any issues related with his audio drivers. So you can always come down, you can find the sound and video controllers, and you can see if there's any issue with the audio drivers. This is just one example, but this is how effectively you can make use of remote connection and resolve issues all from your place without having to move to the end user's computer or without having to perform any manual activities. Now, once my troubleshooting has been done, I can go ahead and close the window, and once you end your troubleshooting, once you end your remote connection, you will have a prompt that asks you to add a work log, add a resolution, and add notes. So this will help you to keep a reference with respect to this particular issue. Now let's say there is another technician who has to resolve an issue of the same kind. All he has to do is just come and refer the notes or the resolution activities that you have added, and it's going to make the job easy for him when he has to face the similar kind of issues. Now, once you close, you can find the activities that have been performed under the history. So here under history, you can find who has taken up this, which assert was associated, what resolution was updated, which technician has worked on it, how long has he worked on it. So in this case, it also helps you to keep a track of how efficiently your technicians are performing and her history of what are the remote connections taken with respect to this assert. So this is all about making use of the remote control feature of Desktop Central integrated with your ServiceDesk Plus product. So you are not going to use a standalone application. You do not have to navigate to Desktop Central also. Right from your request window, you can initiate remote connection and perform troubleshooting operations remotely on the end user's computer. Now let me move to the second use case, initiating a software installation when a request is raised in STP. So this is quite an interesting scenario because, as I said, there are a lot of installation requests that support teams have to face, the technicians have to face. And it's just not a software from one particular vendor. We have different vendors and different applications being released, which employees raise a request then and there. So how are you going to simplify the process of software installation or uninstallation right from the request window in your ServiceDesk Plus product? So let me show you how. Let me again take you to the ServiceDesk Plus product, and under request, let me open the particular request where the end user has asked Skype software to be installed. So Desktop Central needs the Skype software. So once I open the request, I can find out the application that the end user has requested for. Now under the Actions tab, I will find the Install Software option using which I can install the software. Let me move to the Actions drop-down list box. Unfortunately, I do not have the option Install Software. Now you might be wondering why. This is because this particular request has not been raised as a service but has been raised as an incident. For you to explain this better, I will have to shed a few thoughts on ServiceDesk Plus Service Catalog template. So ServiceDesk Plus, if you take, has Service Catalog templates. Let me move to Request Catalog. So an administrator can create different templates for the various requests that users raise. For the commonly raised requests, an administrator of ServiceDesk Plus can create different templates. And for these templates, he can configure options that will help in resolving such requests. For example, I have a template category of software. Here, I have templates for requesting a software installation, requesting a software uninstallation, requesting for a software upgrade. So these are predefined templates available for my end users to raise a request. So once a request is raised through this template, then you will find the specific option that is specific to that particular request. So here in this case, it's about software installation. Now if I go and convert this incident to service, let me choose convert incident to service. This is about a software installation. So my service category would fall for software. My service template would be about requesting a software installation. So once I raise a request using the service catalog template, I will find the applicable option for that particular template. For example, I have my install and uninstall software available. Now, if I click on install and uninstall software, a new window opens. So this is where you choose the particular software that has to be installed for the end user who had requested. So let me click on the software name. Let's say he wanted Skype. So I will choose my target type. If the assert is mapped with the request, then it will automatically be pre-filled here. Else you will have to find out the assert and fill it here. And then I will choose my operation type, whether it is installing a software application or uninstalling one. Once that is done, under advanced settings, you can also specify how you would like to run this as an administrator or using a specific user account. Now let me click on this option. Change the request status to close upon successful installation of software. Now, once your software application is successfully installed to the end user's computer, to the assert mapped in this request, then the ticket status will automatically change to close. Now, let me click on Save. So as you can see, I have the details listed down here. A collection ID has been created. It is an install software task. I have the software application that has to be installed, and the status is ready to execute. So once the status changes to executed, the ticket status will automatically change to closed. So this is how easily you can install software applications right from your ServiceDesk Plus product. And remember, it is just not software installation. You can always uninstall applications when not required. So there's one more catch that I would like to tell you guys here. Now, when I click on install or uninstall software, I have software applications available here. And there are a lot of software applications available. How do I have these applications listed here? So in your Desktop Central, you have the software deployment feature. Any software package that you add here will automatically be replicated and available in your ServiceDesk Plus product as well. So whenever there is a request raised regarding software installation or uninstallation, when you choose to install or uninstall software, any new package added in your Desktop Central will be automatically replicated in your ServiceDesk Plus product as well. So that's the beauty of this integration between DC and STP. Now let's see our next use case where I'm getting a lot of help desk requests to install business applications. How to automate and handle this situation. Now always remember, when we talk about software applications, we have two types of applications. So one is your freeware applications, which are required by almost all the employees in your organization because they are commonly used applications. So one is your freeware applications, and the second is your commercial applications. So when we talk about installing freeware applications, that is commonly used applications, everybody in your enterprise might require of this application. So how are you going to automate a situation when you will have to deploy one single application to a large number of users in your network? For that, you do not have to go and open each of the requests that has been raised and deploy the application for them. But instead, you can make use of Desktop Central's Self-Service Portal feature. So let me move to the Desktop Central console. So here I move to Desktop Central console. Now under software deployment, in the left-hand side, you will find, so I'm already in the software deployment module. In the left-hand side, you will find the Self-Service Portal option. Let me click on that. So the Self-Service Portal is a portal which is going to allow you to publish software packages to the end users or computers and allow them to get these applications installed by themselves, which means You publish the applications to a common portal, which is available to all the end users. And these users, if they want an application, can install it from that portal at their convenience. So let me show you how you can publish the packages. So here I have a publish software package option. Let me click on that. As you can see, you can publish your packages to either a group of computers or a group of users. So let me click on computers, for example. So I can select a custom group. I suppose you know what a custom group is, a group created for a group that you customize and create for a specific set of computers or a specific set of users. Now let me go with the all computers group. Here, I will select all the applications that have to be published to the portal. So from the left-hand side option, you can select your applications and post it to the right-hand side, which will be published in the portal. Let me click on Modify. Now, once this is done, I have successfully published applications to the portal for all computers group, which means all the computers in my network will have the self-service portal available with the applications that I have published. So in your agent tray icon, come down right-hand side. Now you can double click on it and you can choose the option of self-service portal. So this is how the self-service portal window looks. You can see that a lot of applications have been published to the portal, and I, as an end user, can choose to install an application based on my convenience. So this is how, by making use of the self-service portal feature, you can install software applications to a large number of users who request on the same common application that is being used. This is how you can handle this particular situation easily and without having to spend any manual activity. Now the next use case is about approving software for deployment from ServiceDesk Plus. Now remember, I told you there are two types of applications. One is your freeware applications and number two is your commercial applications. So when we talk about commercial applications, some amount of money should be invested by my company to procure licenses of commercial applications. Take, for example, your Microsoft Office, or take, for example, Dreamweaver. Such commercial applications cannot be deployed to every user who raises a request. But as a technician, it is your responsibility to see if the user who raises a request has a valid reason, if the application is really going to be useful for him. So if you find the reason valid enough, then you can go ahead and install the software application. So you need to establish an approval mechanism for commercial software application, for requests that are raised for commercial software applications. So let me show you how. Using the same self-service portal window that we just saw, let me again take you to Desktop Central Console. So here, if you see, we were talking about how we can publish software packages. Now here I have one box, and here I have in the lower section I have another box. So in this box, any application that you drag and drop will install without approval. So you place applications that require no approval in this box, and coming down here, you paste applications that require approval prior to installation, which means someone has to approve the request, and then only the end user will have the application installed in his computer. So once you integrate DC with ServiceDesk Plus and you integrate the software deployment feature, the self-service portal window will change its look and feel like this. So you have applications which require no approval, and you have a section for applications that require approval prior to installation. In the self-service portal window, in your end user side, if you see, for a few applications, you have install option available. And for a few applications, you have requested option available, which means these are applications that work based on the approval mechanism. So once I click on request, now this will send a request to my ServiceDesk Plus product, which means this particular request for Google Talk will fall as a ticket in my ServiceDesk Plus product. Let me show you where. I'm moving to the ServiceDesk Plus product. So under request, for example, I have one right here. Software approval request DC SSP Enterprise App, which means a software approval request from Desktop Central self-service portal for an enterprise app has fallen as a ticket in my ServiceDesk Plus product. If you are a technician, you can go and take action on this particular request. If you find his reason to be valid, so he requires this particular app for webinar. If you find this reason to be valid, you can choose approve and click on save. Now this will automatically install the application on the end user's computer. Or if you feel his request is not valid, see the request has already been approved, please refer request for more details. This means the application will automatically be installed on the end user who had requested for the enterprise app. Now if you find the reason to be not valid, you can always go ahead and reject it. And once you reject, in the self-service portal window across the application, you will find the rejected option available across that application. So this is how you can enforce an approval mechanism when it comes to commercial software applications. Because remember, you are answerable for the licenses that are used by your employees. When commercial applications are being requested, you have to validate the reason and then deploy the software applications to the users who request them. For that, you can make use of the self-service portal window and raise requests. And once the requests are raised from your self-service portal window by your end users, they will fall as a ticket in your ServiceDesk Plus product, from where you can choose to approve or reject the request. So this is how you can efficiently deploy commercial applications as well. Now you might be wondering, how come I raise a request in my self-service portal window and this falls as a ticket in my ServiceDesk Plus product? Remember, we were talking about service catalog templates. So let me again go back to that. In my service catalog template, under the software category, I have created a template for software SSP approval, which means I have a template created for requests that are raised from my self-service portal window. And this template has been configured in your Desktop Central. So under Desktop Central, under Software Deployment, in the left-hand side, you will find the Self-Service Portal settings. So here, you can list the name of the template that you have created in your ServiceDesk Plus product. So I have created a template that says Software SSP Approval. I have configured the name of the Software SSP Approval template from my SDP here in DC. So this is how I configure the self-service portal settings. Now once I click on the changes, once I click on Save Changes, any request from my self-service portal window will be raised as a ticket in my ServiceDesk Plus product, and you technicians can work on the tickets as easy as possible. So this is how you're going to enforce an approval mechanism for commercial applications when there are requests for them from different employees. So this is just a workflow that I have attached. As you can see, a client from a computer is raising requests for a commercial application. So the request is sent to your Desktop Central server. Your Desktop Central server will again in turn send a request to your SDP server as a ticket. Let's say a technician opens this request and finds the reason to be valid. So he can always mark it as approved. And once this is approved, the status is sent to your Desktop Central server, which will automatically install application in the end user's computer. As simple as it could be, this is how you can install commercial applications when requests are raised for them. Now the next use case is about how to deploy configuration templates right from your STP console. Let me quickly show you how you can deploy configuration templates. Let's move to Desktop Central. Under Configurations, in the left-hand side, you will find the Templates option. So these templates are predefined templates. We have more than 100 predefined templates which you can create as a configuration and deploy to any number of computers you want in your network. Now let me click on User Defined. This means you can customize and create a template of your choice. For example, let me click on Create Template. You can choose the platform for which you would like to create a template for. You can choose if you would like to deploy the template to a user or to a computer. In the category, select what kind of template would you like to deploy. Now let's say I would like to create an IP printer configuration template. Let me click on Create. So you can name one. Let's say for SDP, I'm going to show it to you in SDP. So I have named my template as SDP IP printer. So you can configure all the details that are required here and you can click on Save. So once you create a configuration template, this will automatically be published to your ServiceDesk Plus. So either you can go and manually publish it to STP, or it will automatically be published to STP if you choose this feature to be integrated in your integrations window. So once you choose to publish this template to ServiceDesk Plus, again in your ServiceDesk Plus product, now let's say you have a request where you think there is a need for a template to be deployed. For example, let me click on a particular request to show you how that is done. So here under the Actions tab, if you see, let me convert this to a service. So let me click on the select template as a request software installation. Let me convert the incident to service. Now under the Actions tab, if you see, I have an option to resolve the request using templates, which means you can perform troubleshooting using these configuration templates. Very simple. An end user, a new employee joins your organization and he has to configure his IP printer. He has raised a request for configuring an IP printer. And let's say in 2 days there is another new employee joining the organization and raising a request. All you have to do is just resolve requests using templates, choose the template which you would like to deploy. So we had created an IP printer configuration. Now you choose that, you choose the target for whom it has to be deployed to, you select the computer name, and then you deploy the configuration. So once you do this, all the templates from Desktop Central can be deployed as a configuration template right from your ServiceDesk Plus product. The whole idea of configuration templates is to simplify the task of a technician or an administrator. You do not have to go create a configuration every single time, but you customize and create a template for yourself. You publish it to ServiceDesk Plus, and right from the request window, you can deploy templates. So this is just not about IP printer. You have a lot of other templates which you can create. Let me just show you, for example, you have a custom script template that you can create. You have a certificate distribution template. You have a message box template. You have install Windows patch template. So all of these templates can be published to your ServiceDesk Plus, from where you can deploy it to requests that require a configuration template. Now, the sixth use case is about maintaining an up-to-date inventory information, all the software and hardware details right in your ServiceDesk Plus product. Like I said, in Desktop Central, we have the asset management module, the inventory module that is going to help you track all the inventory that is used in your network, be it your software details, be it hardware details, be it the license details, be it warranty details. Any such detail of an asset is readily available using the inventory module. This is because an asset scan is generated using your Desktop Central agent, and all the details will be collected by your agent and posted to your Desktop Central server about every computer that the agent resides in. Now, when you integrate Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus, every 2 minutes, your ServiceDesk Plus server will communicate with your Desktop Central server and gather all the asset details. So this communication happens every 2 minutes. Now, in your ServiceDesk Plus server, under the Assets tab, you can find all the workstations and servers that are available. Let me click on this. So here you have all the workstations or servers that are available. One single workstation, let me click on that. You can see all the details that are available, right from the hardware details to the software details, and also details associated with the ServiceDesk Plus. So be it history, requests, contracts, financials. So once you integrate DC with SDP, all the asset details will be available under one integrated window for you right on your ServiceDesk Plus product. So this is how you can make use of the inventory module with this integration. So we have seen the common use cases based on a problem solution approach. Now let's move to the scenarios and solutions. Some commonly faced scenarios by administrators in the network and the optimal solutions that can be taken, that can be approached to solve those scenarios. So scenario one is where an administrator wants to notify all the users about the upcoming fire drill. How can I achieve this? So let's say you are a technician and you want to notify all the users in your network about the upcoming fire drill in your company. You can always make use of the announcements feature. Let me move to ServiceDesk Plus product. So let me click on Home. So here, when you scroll down, this is a shortcut. You have the announcements option available here. Let me click on Add New Announcement. So you can give a title for your announcement. Let's say you have a fire drill. You can give a message saying fire drill starts at 4. Be there in the ground. So this is the message that you want to display for your end users. And you can select the time from when to when should the announcement be displayed for the end user. Coming down here, you can choose for whom this announcement has to be displayed to. Now your requirement was to display the announcement to all the users in your network. So you can go with display announcement using Desktop Central. Now remember, you have another option here. Send this announcement as mail. Only when the user is going to open his mailbox and read the mail, he might come to know about this announcement. Instead, you do not have to take that risk. You can go ahead with displaying this announcement using Desktop Central. This means that Desktop Central agents installed on all the computers will show this announcement for the end user in the desktop window. So by this, you can make sure that everybody has the announcement displayed for them. So this is how you can make use of the announcement feature. So in the end user's computer, this is how my window will appear. So I have a fire drill announcement saying that it will start by 4 p.m. today. Scenario 2, I want to get some clarification from the requester with regards to the printer problem that he has reported on. What should I do? So more communication is what is requested in some requests where we do not get better clarity. So if you want to know, if you want to have more clarity on a particular request, all you have to do is ask him for more details, for which you can make use of the chat option. So let me move to the ServiceDesk Plus console. Let me take one particular request as example. So now let me open this request. Coming down, I have the assert that is mapped with the request. All you have to do is click on the chat option. Let me take another request where we have an assert that is live on the network. So here, if you click on the chat option, you can always chat with the end user who has raised a request and ask for more details on the problem that he has reported on. To understand the problem better, I would want the users to attach a screenshot or a video of the problem. How can I achieve this? So rather than text, the universal truth is rather than text, images and video will help us understand a problem in a better way. For this, in your agent tray icon, so you will find it under the lower window pane. In your agent tray icon, you can send request to help desk. So let me click on the send request to help desk option. So here you can select a subject. So you can choose your to and CC details. You can select the subject as to what kind of a request are you raising. Let it be install OS patch. So you have a message already pre-filled here. Now in the attachment section, you can always choose if you would like to add a screenshot or if you would like to add a screen recording. Now if it's a screen recording, you can click on start. As you can see, the recording will start sooner and the recording is happening. So you can pause or stop the recording whenever it is done, whenever you have captured the scenario, and this will fall as a ticket in your ServiceDesk Plus product. So this is how you can raise requests from your agent tray icon, and this will be available as a ticket in your ServiceDesk Plus product along with the recording. So here I have a recording that has been attached, and you can view the recording from your technician's computer. So this is how easy it is going to be for your end user to raise a help desk request along with a screenshot or a video to give more clarity on what kind of a problem they are facing. Now the next scenario is about, I want to run a script to repair my AV application from all the network computers. Can I achieve this? Yes, of course you can achieve this. This is just not about running a script to repair your AV application, but there are 180 other scripts which you can run right from your ServiceDesk Plus product. So in Desktop Central, let me again move to Desktop Central. Under Configurations, in the left-hand side, you will find the script repository. So this is one of the biggest add-on to Desktop Central. You have several scripts available which you can create which you can create as a configuration and deploy to any number of computers or users in your network. So all of these scripts will readily be available in your ServiceDesk Plus product once you integrate DC with STP. So let me show you where. Let me click on request and take a particular request to show you how you can create this. So let me convert the incident to a software because it's still as an incident. Let me create and convert it as a service. Now here under the Actions tab, if you see, I can have the option to run the script right from my request window. This means once you integrate DC with SDP and have the script repository integrated for a particular request, you will always have the option to run the script. You can select the script file, which will automatically be replicated from Desktop Central. You can offer your script arguments whichever is required. You can furnish all the details that are required for that particular script, and you can choose for whom it has to be run for, whether it is a user or a workstation. So this is how you can make use of scripts from Desktop Central and deploy them in your ServiceDesk Plus product. What are the other integration opportunities? So this is about ManageEngine ServiceDesk Plus being integrated with Desktop Central, which is again from ManageEngine. But Desktop Central has gone beyond its roots, so we have extended our support for several other help desk tools. So the first is Spiceworks, where you can integrate Spiceworks with Desktop Central. We've also extended our support for ServiceNow. We've also supporting integration with Zendesk and Jira, which are other commonly used help desk solutions by different vendors. So we've not just stopped with ServiceDesk Plus, but we have readily provided integrations for Spiceworks, ServiceNow, Zendesk, and Jira as well. So let's quickly discuss the questions that are raised during the webinar. Do I still need both the STP and Desktop Central agents after the integration? No, like I said before, it is enough if you have only your Desktop Central agent available in your computer. With only the Desktop Central agent, you can perform activities both from your Desktop Central as well as SDP. I have license to manage 500 nodes in SDP, and I've purchased license to manage 1,000 computers in Desktop Central. How does the integration work in the scenario? So in this particular scenario, for the first 500 computers that you have purchased in Desktop Central, integration can be established successfully. So the first 500 nodes and the first 500 computers in your Desktop Central can integrate successfully, and you can make use of the features without any problem. So what we would recommend you to do in this scenario is purchase equal number of nodes and computers both in DC and SDP so that you can have the integration available for all the nodes and computers. Question 3. Do I need to generate separate API keys for all SDP technicians? No, not at all necessary. It is enough if you generate one API key and use it for all of your SDP technicians. Question 4. Can I integrate only the tools like remote control and chat instead of complete Desktop Central? Of course, yes, you can. You can integrate remote control add-on with your ServiceDesk Plus if you would require only the remote connection capabilities. You do not have to completely integrate with DC. How long will it take for the data to be posted from DC to ServiceDesk Plus? As I said, your DC and ServiceDesk Plus will communicate every 2 minutes, and all the data like assert, your software data, your inventory data will be posted to your ServiceDesk Plus server every 2 minutes. Question 6. When a computer is added or removed in a domain, should I make the changes manually, or how can this be handled by Desktop Central? Remember, in Desktop Central, you have the SOM settings. So let me move to Desktop Central. Under the Admin tab, under SOM settings, you will find the SOM policy. So using this, you can always keep a track of all the computers that are being added in your domain, all the computers that are being detected and added as new computers. So once you keep a track of this, you will know if there are new computers being added or removed in your domain. You do not have to make these changes manually. This will be handled by Desktop Central itself. If not this, again, under the integrations window, under Admin tab, under ServiceDesk Plus settings, here, when you choose the features that have to be integrated, you can as well choose the actions that have to be performed on SDP when a computer is removed from SOM. So you can configure these options according to your requirements or convenience. Question 7. Will this integration help me patch computers from ServiceDesk Plus? Of course, yes. Apart from product level integration and contextual integration, we also offer iframe integration. So in your ServiceDesk Plus product, let me click on Home. You have Desktop Central available here, from where you can perform different patching operations. Not just patching, you have configurations, remote control tools, reports, everything available here. And just not about Desktop Central, you also have iframe integration for your mobile device management as well. So whole of your endpoint management activities can be performed right from your ServiceDesk Plus product. Will this integration help me manage computers which are located in remote locations? Yes, very well, as long as your agents are reachable with the server. As long as you have agents installed on these computers and these computers are reachable to your server, you can make use of this integration for computers in your remote locations or computers in your local network or even those roaming users. So that's all for today. We have seen how you can effectively integrate Desktop Central with ServiceDesk Plus and save a lot of time on requests that are being raised every time by end users, common requests, and how to troubleshoot them effectively using the Desktop Central ServiceDesk Plus integration. So if you'd like our training session, then please do rate us on a scale of 1 to 5, where 5 being the best. And one more thing, once the session closes, you will receive a survey where you can rate us. So this survey will be available for you once you close the session, once you close this training session. So you can also spread a word about Desktop Central's free training on social media with the hashtags that have been given here. Please stay tuned with us for our next training schedule, which is on imaging and OS provisioning, scheduled for 7th March of 2018. So thank you all again for your active participation. I hope you go work and see how this integration works for you. If you have any questions regarding the integration and the setup, you can send us the questions or the queries via chat. I still have my expert panel right here with me. Thank you all again for taking time of your busy schedule and being an active participant in this free training. Thank you again, and you all have a very good day.